lie to each other till the kids are 18.
Sure. That
Just
would be
suck
great.
it up.
Yeah.
Just suck it up for 5 years. Or you end up with the damage, like, well, she's starting to write a new show. There's some stories that I heard that I was like, holy shit.
So what was my point? Oh, so I had to move to New Orleans and I didn't know anybody.
Driving
and that
at
was
14.
hard. And then so I'm having the good one.
Well, you know what you're doing? Because I never had a childhood.
A rum
either.
springer.
Yeah, you are. Please don't. I don't want to raise someone else's
A
baby.
rum springer. I put my finger on a finger and a finger.
A rum springer. Shout out to the Amish. You are going through because when you're a kid, you want to have that freedom to be a kid. And you and I both, I was on my own. My dad would disappear for 3 days to go do on his road trips to go do on a sales job. And I was home by myself sometime. Well, when I started when I was 9, I was on for like overnight. And then when I got to 11, 12, 13, he would be like, all right, I'll be back on Thursday. And here's some money for food. And you make your lunch and stuff.
How old were you?
13.
Yeah,
13,
I guess actually
14, yeah.
when I moved back to my dad's, well, prior to me leaving, I was 14 and my dad was a corporate jet pilot after the Marine Corps. He worked for Aflac and, you know, as rich CEOs are wont to do, Danny Amos and all of the Amoses would go on ski vacations and go to Japan and go to Europe for a week at a time. And I was 14 and my brother was 15 and we had the house to ourselves.
Could you imagine?
And I had a car.
Can you imagine leaving, as adults as we are right now, leaving a 14-year-old, 15-year-old in charge of your home?
No, I cannot. I can barely imagine Jet at 21. You guys saw him. He's amazing. But would we really want to leave him in charge of a lot of things?
Jet, you're going to run the house for a week while we're gone. That makes me, my gut just went, and I love the kid. No,
yeah, I would
be on the phone
idea.
every hour. You all right? Everything good?
So my point was Friday night, my slumber party was with Kenny and Jet. And this is a great thing to talk about for our 15-year anniversary because so many of you guys lived through Love is Evil with us. We talked about it a lot.
More the defect, yeah. And
the divorce and how awful it was and how hard it was. And then you guys remember I did a podcast, Armageddon update, about when the kids left. Do you remember that? And then there were 2.
Yeah. Oh,
and
God.
This was when we lost Abbott and Mom passed away. And then the kids a month later hit the road. And it's crazy to think now
that we're still here. That that wasn't a murder-suicide at one point. That's on the ragged edge of murder-suicide.
And I think we know who would have murdered and who would have suicided.
I think we do. They're both bad.
I know.
I was like, wait. I'm like, who's the winner on this one?
I actually thought when I looked into the camera, this does not have the heat you expected it to. This is not packing the punch you wanted.
We know who would have been the murderer and who'd have been the suicide. What? It makes absolutely no sense. But
I intentionally stayed awake all night for this 15th anniversary.
So let's give people a little bit of hope. I see where you're going with this.
So Kenny and Jet, he went on the road. Kenny texted me and invited them. And she was like, Ray, Dad's gone. What do you think about a sleepover tonight? Jet says he's free. She had already talked to Jet.
Wow.
And I woke up to that text Friday morning and I was like, okay. And they both came over and they were trying to come at like 3 p.m. I was like, girl, like, give me some more time. So
that was to Jet. She said that.
Exactly. And so I made him stop and get orange juice from Whole Foods because Jet's not a big drinker around us. I gather he's quite the party boy at Sonoma State, but he likes foo-foo drinks. He's still in that era of drinking where we all get smart and realize you can't have sugar mixed with your liquor.
Or you just get life beats the shit out of you. You're like, you know what? I need something that burns my throat like gasoline.
Exactly.
I want the pain to, because it's still the less pain than life is.
Yep. So I am always like, I'll make up something because I bartended for a long time with whatever we have. And I had the idea to make painkillers, which is a drink that I make at the beach every year.
What's in them? What's in a painkiller?
I do mine with light rum and dark rum, double the fun. Fresh squeezed OJ, fresh pineapple juice, coconut cream.
Oh, he just is.
And then
It's like a pie that gets you drunk.
You're supposed to just sprinkle nutmeg on top, which makes the drink, you guys. But I put nutmeg in mine and then put it on top. And then we had the Luxardo cherries, which are like the Cadillac of maraschino cherries. They were both like, what is this? The cherries you have to like take a loan out to get. I had them from Jeffy when he stayed here. And Jet was like eating the cherries out. He was so excited. And so I made a whole pitcher of painkillers, and that's what Jet drank.
And they were up
night.
to like 3 a.m. because I was on the road. I was on the
late.
East Coast 3 hours, and they were up after I was.
Yes.
So the point I want to make though is that you guys rode with us through all of that shit with the kids and all that shit with the divorce, and it just nightmare after nightmare, court case after court case. And for you people going through whatever the problem is, whatever the big thing that feels unending, just know that if you just keep being you, keep sticking to your guns, it's going to suck for a long time, but eventually it'll stop. The kids are now like such a big part of our lives. Yeah. And to the point where I was in New York. I was working, I worked the Bell House, and I worked the Shoe Theater in Connecticut. And I got to tell you, man, both gigs were great. Thank you guys. Standing ovation at the Shoe Theater. The Bell House was great. Really smart Brooklyn crowd, you know, and they didn't throw shit, which is great.
That's good.
In Brooklyn, I'm just, look, if they laughed at everything and they didn't throw shit, I'm fine.
That's pretty good.
So I get a call for her on Saturday morning. They're gone. They're sitting in the. They haven't left. So
Saturday
the kids
morning.
got
Not
up.
in a bad way, but shocked. Like,
because we're usually, they get up and they go. They
just want to hang out.
They do their job. They hang out with mom and dad, and then they go back to their moms. They were like, she gets up. They stayed and watched Breaking Bad, and it was like a real casual.
They were on the couch, and Chaplin, who grew up with them as well. Chaplin's going to be 16 in a couple of weeks. And so Jet was 4 when we got Chap, and Chaplin is curled up in his lap. Groucho's pressed against him. Kenny's right next to him. They're in their pajamas. It was the cutest thing ever watching Breaking Bad.
Broke my heart. All I got was pictures.
Yeah.